Can we get your quick thoughts on the game? Just overall?
Obviously, really proud of our guys' compete level. I thought they really did a good job of battling. Defensively, we were pretty sharp. On the glass, it kind of took its toll, and they kind of used their length and athleticism, physicality, and kind of got a few too many extra chances, and then obviously having 17 turnovers, something that we've struggled with all year, to be honest with you, and something we need to improve on. And when you come into an environment like this and you give up second chance points and then you don't take care of the basketball as well as you'd like, puts you in a tough spot. But really proud of our guys' effort and their compete level, and we're always going to do that. So proud of that.
Yeah. You mentioned the second chances. Was that a concern coming into the game?
Yeah, certainly when you play a school, a Power 5 school like this, you worry about, their athleticism and their physicality, and you always know it's something that you have to be conscious of, and we certainly were, and we certainly talked about it, but it's certainly easier said than done.
Doug Wilson really didn't get on track tonight. Was that foul trouble or something else?
Mostly foul trouble, just never really got in a rhythm. And then when you have two fouls, I want to play them because you want to give them opportunities to get them in the flow of the game, but then you're not competing as hard as you'd like defensively, so you give up a few easy baskets, so it's kind of hit or miss. But yeah, just mostly foul trouble. Doug's a dynamic player, good kid. Just wasn't his night, and that's the way it goes sometimes.
Is there anything Indiana did that surprised you or impressed you?
You know what? We thought maybe they'd get out and pressure us a little bit and spread the floor out, and we'd try to play behind it a little bit. But they did a good job of really shrinking the floor and making us score from the perimeter, which we didn't shoot it very well either. And so that combination wasn't great. But they did a good job of protecting the rim, and not necessarily. I just thought maybe they'd get out and pressure us a little bit. But they are who they are, and they're going to do what they do for the most part.
Trey Buchanan had a huge game. Is that something you expected coming into it? Did you see a matchup, especially against IU's bigger lineups, that you could exploit there? Yeah,
Trey's a dynamic player. He's that scorer's mentality. He's very capable any night of putting the ball in the basket, and that was good to see from Trey. We're trying to been working him in more and more. He's had limited minutes up to now, and he's proven that he's earned them. He's been very efficient, and he certainly was as efficient as he's ever been tonight. So really proud of Trey.
IU's freshman Trace Jackson-Davis had a pretty big game. Is there anything that kind of stood out either on tape or tonight?
Just his athleticism and his length. Honestly, he's a special player, and he's very physical down there. He's very dynamic. He can score with his back to the basket. He can, he's going to get a bunch of second chance points. Runs like a deer. Gets the place going with some good dunks. So he's a fun player to watch. He's a fun player to watch on film. Not as fun in person, but that's the way it goes sometimes.
And then obviously you guys played Arizona, coached by Sean Miller, and tonight IU with Archie. How similar were those kind of scouting and getting prepared for this game?
Well, you can certainly tell that they talk quite often and that they're brothers, I'll tell you that. There's a lot of similarities to what they do, obviously toughness, rebounding is a big emphasis for those guys. And at the end of the day, that's what both of those things are what caught up with us in both of the games. We battled both games, we had the lead at Arizona at halftime and, got it to 2 points here, late in the first half against Indiana, and then kind of held it between 9 and 14 most of the game, but never really, we didn't have quite the pop that we've had, but going back to your question about the Miller boys, you can certainly tell that they kind of grew up in the same household.
Is there anything you saw that couldn't get you over that hump? You said you got it close a lot and you were right there, but is there anything that stood out that kind of held you back from getting over the hump?
Yeah, I thought defensively that's probably their best game that they've played. They really challenged our shots. They challenged us around the rim, and we just couldn't go on any runs. We were getting enough stops, but we just couldn't score consistently enough. And that's really, basketball's a game of spurts. When they had a 4-minute stretch when they had an 11-0 run, and we just didn't match that tonight. We have in the past, but tonight we just didn't have it.
Perfect. That's all I need.